we would like to share it on our social media. But the first thing is, and the first question, sorry for that question, but do you, Marcos, still remember, how is it like to work in startup? Because LiveChat is a unicorn. It's not a startup. You have a lot of fantastic guys, but startup, I mean, limited resources, limited staff. Do you remember? How is it like?
Okay, let me start by saying I need to clarify one little thing.
Okay.
We're super liking LiveChat. This year we already passed 32,000 customers, so we're super proud of that.
Oh gosh.
And that's only the only plug that I'm gonna do through the through the
okay.
But going to your question about startups, right? There is a big secret that nobody talks about, and the way startups work, at least here in Europe. I'm not going to talk the American market yet, but here in Europe, the way startups work is very, very similar to any other company. You still have the same bureaucracy, the same issues with having the right budget. I mean, literally a lot of the things. So when I got to live chat, and this is something that we're really trying to maintain and it's part of our DNA, is that we still a startup. We still bootstrap to many of the things that we do. We still have ways to find better methods or better ways to do things without having to just throw money at it. I mean, the company is very healthy economically, but we're encouraged to think outside the box. And I don't want to make it sound that is we're cheap, but no, we're just trying to be smart and find ways to do things better without just putting money at it. I mean, look at the biggest startups around the world. Their marketing budget for the years are huge. I was reading Ahrefs talking about their YouTube channel. They spend over $50,000 just promoting their YouTube channel. So far, I only spent €100 promoting my YouTube channel. So we still act like a startup because it's part of our DNA. Is trying to find these new ways to do things. So I definitely remember every day how it is to work in one.
Okay, and because I'm asking, and you have mentioned that a lot of startups that I talk to when we talk about marketing in the context of marketing, they do not think how to be the best. It's not the biggest issue how to be the best. The biggest issue is how to start and when to start, and that's why I would like to ask you about the tips, how and when. When it means when you have a product or before the marketing activities, of course.
So there's something that most companies and even a lot of the successful and famous companies that we see in Poland, and I want to talk about the local market first. They all have the same backwards approach that we will put the product, we'll make the product talk, and then we're gonna think of marketing. So in any common sense will tell you think marketing first, but somehow magically the formula of let's do stuff first and then we'll market it is being working. However, it's not really sustainable, and that's why like if a startup come to me and ask me like, so like what do? We just wait and hire and get a growth hacker later on? No, there are a lot of marketing activities that you really need to do in the beginning. You need to have a soul. You need to have something that people can relate to and an emotional level before you see this whole beautiful product that is solving your problem. So definitely one of the things that is not happening enough is people thinking of marketing at the same time, if not first. And the reason for that is that we're confusing marketing with marketing activities, and marketing activities we're confusing it also with social media and ads, SEO, content, and that's not the first step that you need to go through. Really, the first thing you want to do is just to find out who you are, like, and why are you doing these things, just to help you understand who are you going to become towards your customer. So if you don't understand who you are, how are you planning to sell that later on? I mean, how are you planning to build a brand on top of sand, on top of nothing really? So if we're going to talk about marketing activities, the first thing, together we're building a product, we're developing something great. build the foundations of who you are as a brand. How are you going to relate to your customer from the start? And that doesn't need to, I mean, you don't need to wait for one to do the other. You can do those things parallels. And in the beginning, it's always the founders that will do the marketing because we know stuff. But yeah, as long as you're hitting the right nails and you're looking at the right things and and focusing on this bit of the why that is so common nowadays, then you're doing something okay. But go from the start. Don't wait.
But it's possible in a first day of startup, especially if you have only technical founders, because we are talking about companies which are divided, sales, marketing, and so on and so on. The first day in the market, in a startup, sorry, should be cross-disciplinary. You don't have the skills. You are a tech guy, and so on. How to deal with this if you are not a marketing guy, let's say. So
That's the thing. I mean, you don't need to be a marketing guy for understanding the basics of what you need to do. There are probably a few guides that you can find, and the more you look into the actual basics, like something that is super easy to understand, that's the stuff that you need to start doing. Understanding, like, all right, so here, Mr. Developer, Mr. Sales, and Mr. Founder, we're the team. Who are we? Why are we doing this? Start writing those things down. I mean, it's not that you need to share that with the world, but the first step to do marketing is to understand internally what is it that you're doing, understanding the problem, because it's not just about putting a product that solves something. It's also deeper into the connection, because eventually you're going to build a brand that's going to connect to a customer. So it's not just going to be solving a problem. That's not that's the business goal. You're solving a problem for someone and you're getting money from that. But the marketing goal is to build a relationship with this customer that is deep. That is, you turn that customer into your loyal fan and you let them do the marketing work. Forget about ads, forget about stuff. That guy who bought your product is going to go to his friends and tell them, like, you have to try this product. And that works a lot better than any ad that you're going to do.
um, I must tell you that Marcus, even when he worked with great companies, he encouraged them to go back to the foundations of the marketing, and we also would like to do it during that webinar. That's why I would try to share my screen, and we will talk for a minute about the marketing funnel. So I hope it will works.
It works.
Okay.
I'm seeing your email at the moment.
Yeah, of course, of course. I should
You-
make it, and it's, oh gosh, you see all this stuff that you don't have to see. So I will do it in a minute. Could you please, Marcus, start with a marketing funnel?
Yeah, because I mean, the reason why we want to touch the funnel is just because, just like a lot of marketing concepts, you're relating the funnel to something that is that you need to create, or you need to have it as your cornerstone. But the funnel has to be flexible, and the funnel is not something that you just get. And I see companies that we build, like even apps, build your marketing funnels, and that's not what you're really paying for. You're just paying for this. I did this in PowerPoint. Sorry, Google Slides.
Slides.
But this is just a representation of what's happening. It's just for you to add stuff to it that it makes sense. No other funnels are going to look different. The funnel's not going to be upside down. The funnel's always going to look like this, and it's always the same flow. There will be different activities and actions in between, but before even building this, and when you get to understand what is that you're really doing for people and what is the connection you have with them, then you can use the funnel in order to spread your activities. Like, and we're talking about more actionable level activities. So if you're starting with, I mean, if you know IDAs, like awareness, interest, desire, action.
Yeah, that's right. I believe we should describe all this stuff. Why it's AIDA.
So yeah. So IDA is the most common funnel, and I'm not gonna go super deep because this is just like literally 101. So when you start with the top, A is awareness. This is when people discover what you're selling or who you are or what's your brand. It's just a discovery moment. You move them down to I was interested. You get them. Okay, so what are you talking about here? Like, what is it that you're selling, or what is it that you want to tell me? And hopefully, you're sending the right message here to move them to D, which is desire, and you get them to really want what you're selling or what you're offering. And eventually, you move it to the last A, which is the action or acquisition. So basically, you convert them into a customer. Now, this is a super simple way to see the customer journey. Is useful for you to have a very general idea, but if you start dissecting this eventually on your marketing actions, this is going to have millions of little funnels or millions of different things. But this is where you start. You start by understanding, okay, so if we look at the first A, awareness, what are we doing to attract people? What are we doing to put our name out there? Are we, this is where you start screaming, right? This is your screaming moment when you just want to make sure people listen to what you have to say. That's why here is important that you have something to say. And that's why you need to create your marketing basics from the start. Because if you say, hey, listen to me, and people turn around and listen to you and you have nothing to say, then there's no funnel. Then there's no movement down to anywhere. So this is the point that you really want to have a message ready and scream. So even if you're bootstrap or if you have or you have budget, this is the moment that you want to use your ads and put your message in as many places as you can. Now, I just want to make a disclaimer here. These funnels are going to change. There are hundreds of people that are going to tell you a completely different story about it. This is an IMHO, in my humble opinion, the way it works best, and this is the way I've seen it work best. So I want to move the conversation a little bit towards the content side. So if you're thinking about content, is not something that shall we do content or not? Everything you do is content. Everything you do has this element of connecting to your customer, to educate them, to value them somehow. So if you start from the top, and if you think of like how I'm going to create awareness, yeah, this is probably the right moment to scream as much as you can with a message that it will relate. And I was thinking yesterday about the best way to make an analogy. When you're listening to music, you get hooked with songs that they're fun, that they're common, that they remind you to something that you heard before, songs that they're catchy, and eventually you connect with the artist because you listen to the lyrics later. So that's when you have to do sort of a balance, right? You have to have a proper delivery, a catchy tune. But if your lyrics are not good, you're just going to have a lot of fans that they're not really going to buy your album. They're just going to listen to you on the radio. But look at the biggest artists in the world are the ones that they have very strong lyrics, very interesting things to say. And those are the ones that stay over throughout the time. So start with that bit. Like if you want to create awareness, and that's the key point of your funnel, have something very interesting to say, but also have a very powerful delivery. There's this storytelling sort of not technique, but graph that if you want to really call the attention, you start by shocking people with something. Look at the
For example, my email boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharing.
Exactly. Whoa, that's attraction. That gets you in there, right? That gets you there. I mean, look at the radio commercials, right? Robot, stop percent discount. Like that's the first they go, whoa, what is this going on? 100% discount on what? But it's actually the rest of the stuff that you want to listen to, because that's the disclaimer of the whole message. But they always have this little shocking point. So this is the shocking point for your whole marketing idea. It's just like you scream loud, but please have something to say.
And because after or before screaming, or after, or how we can say it's a shock twist. You can say that we should also twist, even in the marketing, even in everything is going right, to catch the attention of people. What's the twist for live chat for you? What was the twist in your marketing strategy?
For the content stuff that we're doing now, the twist that I can see is that we're really not trying to sell anything. At least with the stuff that we're doing, with Project Success is free content, is free knowledge and free value. Um, we're just trying to show people what we've done and what we learned and why I learned throughout the years, just to connect with them. And the assumption that I'm doing here is that eventually people will appreciate this. And this goes back to you definitely have an idea who Robert Cialdini is, with the principles of influence. And there's one principle that is very key for what we're doing right now, which is reciprocity. When you give a lot to someone, they feel the need to give back. And we're giving all this knowledge and value that we're hoping is going to be useful for them to get that attention back and say, look, okay, fine, this guy's giving me so much. I'm definitely going to like his channel. I'm going to follow him in his social media. And when the time comes that I need a chatbot or a live chat tool or a help desk tool, I know where to go because I got so much from them. That's the twist that I'm giving. It was like, look, watch my video. And they'll be like, where's the CTA? Where's the
Buy it.
button? Yeah, where's the button to buy this? And that's not what we're building. We're building pure knowledge sharing, pure connection with the customer that eventually will have an effect of reciprocity to get something back, which is hopefully their business.
Mm-hmm. And how you define the content? Because we say that content is an king, or how you define the content? Content is everything that you do, or content is on your Facebook web page or LinkedIn. How we can define the content and divide the content?
The thing is, everything that you say out loud that your customer might hear is content. If you make a post on Facebook, that's content. If you make a 10 pages article, that's content too. And video is the same thing. But you have to think of different, the content is going to be divided in this funnel, right? There are different places that you want to add different kinds of content. And I don't mean different forms, but it's different language. You want to make sure people listen to you. And then you want to move them through this funnel down, right? Like how you're going to generate interest. And for example, in our case, in Success, I'm generating interest not only because of the value, that's my main message. Like, wow, I get value. They get interest because I'm not trying to sell anything. And I'm being super authentic on saying, buy it or not, we're still here. We're still providing you with videos about stuff that you really want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Then
And
if you, go ahead.
Because I still have this feeling that maybe our guests, people who are listening to us and then will listen on the social media thing, but I have limited resources, I have limited budgets, I don't have time for it. So could you please tell your tips? What do you think about limited resources? Can we start our video strategy from scratch?
Let me try to cover it in a couple of tips. So I value time a lot, not because time is money and business, blah blah blah. No, it's because I enjoy doing nothing. I enjoy sitting down in the garden, watching the kids playing, not even playing with the kids, just watching them play. And I enjoy that. So I want to make sure that the time that I can focus on work is well utilized. So when we talk about content strategy, is an overthought of, oh my God, that's a lot of work. And it's not true. If you did the foundations right, when we talk in the beginning, the first thing you want to do, you know who your customers are, you know where they are, you know what they want to hear. Then focusing on what you really want to deliver, it should be a lot easier for you. Is okay. And I don't want to be, I hope I don't sound sexist here, but I know exactly what to, no worries. I know exactly what to tell my wife to make her happy. I know what are the things she enjoy because I know her well, right? And I know what is the little effort that I can do. So I'm not really killing my own persona to make someone else happy, which is in the business, well, like you don't have to sacrifice your brand to make sure that your customer buys from you. You just need to know what they want to hear and what matches with the values or the product that you're putting out. If you get that right, then you already know what channels they want to hear or what channels are they spending time on. And if you do that too, that shouldn't take a long time. You can dedicate an hour or two a day for content if you're a small startup, and the content doesn't need to be 10 pages blogs. It can be a couple of longer posts in LinkedIn. It can be a joke. It can be something as little as that. And because everything's been switching from people don't want to listen to brands as brands anymore, they rather listen to the people behind the brand. It could make it easier because you don't have to pretend. You don't have to overthink your content. You just have to be authentic and talk about things that you know in the way that you know them. So I just shot a video not too long ago about MRR and ARR, yeah, like SaaS concepts of financials. I don't know them very well because I've never been involved in financials, but I explain them the way I understand them and the way I will use them. And that video come across as, oh, I got it. As like if you're a financial guy and you really need to understand that, don't watch my video. Watch a financial guy video. But if you really want to get the idea, I will prepare the video that is for people like me in an authentic way. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of jumping on content as just doing it. Same with video. Just grab your phone, send a message at LinkedIn, record yourself, and say something. Be authentic. Be yourself, and people will like it. Not everybody. You will get haters. That you get haters all the time. That's online world. But do that, and it's just a start.
Dennis
I knew he was going to interrupt.
of course, how to make your internal subject matter experts the brand ambassadors when they are shy. You have it on a chat. If you
Yeah,
would like
let me
to.
just double read it because I okay. So shy is not a bad thing. You don't need to be. I'm shy. I am. I'm an introvert. That's what people. That's what I get every time I.
Sorry
No,
for
that's fine.
that.
That's fine. Every time I say it, um, every time I say it it's weird because people laugh. But it's not about being shy. It's about being comfortable with your shyness. And when you get to be comfortable and recognize all these little weakness that you feel their weakness, for example, being shy, is going to create your own style of delivering something. So if you're going to record a video and you have this problem that, like, I'm a brand ambassador, I'm very shy, I know a lot, but I'm so shy on video. Don't think about the delivery of you're trying to be someone else. Just be yourself. Try to explain things the way you explain it to your mom, to your kids, to like literally a 5-year-old. Because if you can do that, and you can explain concepts that they're very complex, but for you they're very easy, and you can figure out a way to just, oh well, this is how things work, and you don't have to be out like an extrovert or like outspoken about it. You just have to be yourself.
Accept.
And if and when you get to accept these weaknesses, let's say shy could be a weakness in certain fields. When you get to accept those things, you can work with them. And the only way you're going to work with them and see the results is just like, look, you feel shy on video, record 10 videos for yourself. Don't show it to anyone.
Magdalena is comment, sorry. Oh, my son should hear this. Definitely, a lot of people should hear this, that we can accept even the weaknesses, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, that's the moment you become powerful, is when you accept that you're not perfect, that you're not going to be anyone else. You just get to be yourself. This, I really don't want to jump in on the holistic motivational speaker.
Of course,
style,
the next time.
yeah, but if you get to accept who you are, people get to accept you as who you are, and they get to like you as who you are, and that delivers a better experience to yourself too.
I have some, because reading interviews with you and listening the podcast and watching videos, there were some statements that surprised me. May I share with
Oh, please do. I hope they don't surprise me.
So first, it's your statement. So first, storytelling is both underrated and overrated. Could you please explain what you mean and how we can understand?
I'm glad you mentioned that one, because that one I can explain. Because sometimes I post stuff that I don't even really think about. I just put it out. But that one I can explain. It's definitely overrated in the fact that people think of storytelling as some spice. Like, oh, add some storytelling to it. And we need to add storytelling to our marketing. That's what is not working. We have no storytelling. And that's not what it is. It's not something, and just like we were talking with the funnel, it's not something you can just grab and add. It's like, oh, like up the levels of storytelling here. Storytelling is a natural way of communication. That's why it's very important. Because when we get to the point of talking as a brand, we lose that human storytelling connection. There are a lot of things as a brand you need to say it as a brand, or certain facts that you need to pass that they're not very human-y. But the way that you start with the right tone, the right flow of taking a conversation, that's storytelling, and that makes things work. But is absolutely overrated in the fact that it's not something that you can just buy. Storytelling is just going back, and I think I'm going to repeat this a few times. It's just going back to the basics. It's just try to tell the story to your friend. Don't turn that story later into a Facebook post, because if you add the hashtag here and do that here and do that there, it's gonna work. No, just make it resonate. If you don't use the storytelling flow, which is, that's what it is, it's a natural human flow, all the rest is just not going to work. So if you hire an agency to like, hello, we need storytelling for our marketing, that's not what it is. Storytelling is just natural. It's a natural way of communicating. That's what it is. Both. It's overrated in the fact that people is charging you for adding storytelling to what you're saying, but it's underrated because it's the perfect way to communicate. So you need storytelling, but you need to buy it. You need to understand it and apply it in a way that is natural.
Okay. The second one, marketing on a low budget is possible.
Well, I'm proof. I mean, I'm not talking down on my beautiful company live chat, because I have all the support from them and everything we do. But even the videos that we make, it's just me and one video person. So it's a team of two, and Kaya later, our female host,
Yeah.
she came later too. So it's a team of 3 video creators. Kaya and myself preparing content and delivering the content, and one video person to create graphics and put all that together. That's a very small team, and we have 2 cameras, a couple of lights. It's not high production, and most of the marketing stuff that we do is in our own personal channels. Most of the subscribers that we got in our channel is just us inviting people to, hey, you want to check what we're doing? That way. I mean, literally, I probably send messages to some of the people in the chat once or twice. It's like, hey, I really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. Can you please check my content? And if you like it, subscribe. So I'm not selling my stuff. I'm just using very low budget activities in order to move things forward, and it works. And that's why you don't need to think of marketing strategy or marketing in general as a huge investment. Think about it as little activities that can move things forward.
But somehow it's connected. The fourth one, I will make it before the third. The statement is, you wouldn't want your social media to be run by an intern, student. I think that's the way it is in many startups. I think it's in many startups. Low budget, it means that, people with a big wage should run a business, should focus on a product, focus on a relationship with the customer, and a social media intern, student, we will take someone. And the statement is that you don't want to do it. Why?
I mean, it's a bit of a tricky statement, and I don't mean don't hire interns, because that's the way people learn to do jobs. Like, you need to hire someone with no experience in order to gain experience. Otherwise, that doesn't work. What I really want to point out with that is that don't underestimate social media. Social media is the people who talking to your customers day to day. So even if you're going to hire an intern, give them all the tools, pay them well for them to really be passionate about what they're doing. Because otherwise, if you get an intern for 2,000 SWAT a month, they're going to do a work of 2,000 SWAT a month and no more. But if you pay them a little more, you make them part of a process, you give them purpose and show them the importance of what they're doing, that's a different commitment. So,
sorry for that, but sorry to interrupt, but I think that generally the thought was that they should be also inside. It's not a, that you should add only one thing and give them, oh, social media, make a post or publish something. That it should be the uh, most the project that you are should focus on. That it's that they are very important, not something,
Exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. And is if people get to understand their purpose, or which in which little bit of this whole machine they fit, that's different. Even if you pay them little, but you shouldn't. You need to give people a proper wage to live. But if you manage to, you don't have too much money. Like startups don't have much. You're gonna have someone to help you out. Don't just tell them to, hey, can you help me out and post stuff every day. Give them like, look, we want to make you come to our workshop. Let us explain you what are the values of our company. What's our tone of voice? How do we relate to our customer? And then you're giving them all the tools for them to work. But if you're just gonna hire someone like, you social media, okay, here's some money, do it every day, whatever you want to do. That doesn't work that way.
Mhm. So the first statement, it's it was so surprising. We focus too much on digital channels.
Oh, all right. I need to stop drinking wine before posting stuff. So it's true. I mean, we base all the stuff. I mean, there's no more marketing expert or marketing specialist without digital marketing added, right? Which is okay. Half of our life is passing on the digital side, but there's so many more things, and I think we used to call it above the line, or before, like, or under the line or something like that back in the day. Their little commitment, like for example, swag. We underestimated sending a little box with a T-shirt to our best customer. That's not digital. That's literally just a box of, and then we turn it. They turn it digital by posting something in Instagram with that. Same thing when we hire our people. Most startups, especially in Poland, and we do that very well, is that there's a welcome pack. And we know that because it's a cultural thing, but we forget that that's marketing. We're doing internal marketing for the people that we're hiring to make them our fans, to make them fans of what they do. So digital marketing is great and I'm calling digital marketing everything that is online, right? Like all our SEO techniques and trying to figure out algorithms to how to make our blogs rank and our pages rank. That's something we have to do. But what else is out there? A billboard on the street still works. A billboard on a very busy highway that you see every day, it works the same way than an ad in Facebook that you see every day. Yeah, and maybe you're gonna say, yeah, well, the ad's a lot cheaper, but the billboard's a lot more bold too. Like if you do actions on the street, get people dancing with your brand, or even give away little flyers. Like I chose my barber, which I haven't been for a while. I chose my barber because I was walking around Rinnick and someone gave me a piece of paper saying like, here, Turkish barber, phone number. I went home, I called the guy, get an appointment, best freaking haircut I ever got in my life. I didn't have to see the guy in Facebook. It just there's things that they work. And we need to think, and I'm sorry about this, we need to think outside the box and go back and another message repeated. Think outside the box, but go back to the basics. If your basics are fine, everything else is going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. And uh, because you said in one on the channels that word of mouth is the cheapest way of marketing.
It's not only the cheapest, but it's the best. And I probably misguide a little bit when I say cheapest, because word of mouth doesn't happen for free. There is an investment behind, and I don't want to talk only money investment, but when you're doing your marketing right and you're turning people into becoming fans of what you do, you make them brand ambassadors. They become your brand ambassadors. They're gonna go around talking about your brand without you having to do anything else after that. You do need to do a follow-up, obviously. Keep them being loyal to you by recognizing the job that they do, or appreciating your customers in different ways. But word of mouth is definitely the best way. I mean, I will trust a friend telling me buy this car over that car more than a Facebook ad telling me the same. Because I know an ad is just trying to sell me something. But if I know that my friend is really passionate about what he's been driving, I was like, wow, that's real advice. That's what I want to do.
It's fantastic comment from Dennis in Switzerland. Direct mail is still more effective in lead generation than any digital channel.
There we go.
It's the please remember about the questions because my are it's the last one even that I prepare. I will look my notes once again. But the thing is, I believe that a lot of our participants would like to know what they should do, 1, 2, 3, 4, after the end of this meeting, when they think about marketing in their startup. So please, you can think for a while and please give us what what we should do when we are thinking about our marketing to make it happen after this meeting. We are coming back to our offices, what we should do when we think about marketing.
Just like I tell my kids, just question everything. Go back to your office after this and question everything you've done so far. Question everything you have or everything you're planning to do, but question it in a way that is related to building something. So it's not just like, is this right? Do I like this or not? It's not that. Is if your next 10 blog posts are going to be about something X, like I don't know, crypto, and you're selling something completely the opposite, your blog posts are going to do great. They're going to attract millions of people because everybody wants to be in crypto right now. But you're selling bread. Is that? I mean, I don't know. It's you definitely need to think, who are you connecting to, and sit down and say, all right, what's our tone of voice? I have a great questionnaire that maybe I can try to share it with you guys later on. But think of like what my brand right now. How old is my brand? If my brand were a person, is it a university graduated or is it some a high school dropout? If my brand were a singer, or if my brand were we're looking to buy music, what kind of music my brand would like? Start building up this persona of understanding who your brand are, or who your brand is, and then give it values. Like, what are the values that this person has? Is it a straight shooter, goes around the bush? Like, how my brand persona will relate to someone else in the opposite, or on the attractive side. Like if I have a male, like give it sex, like give it, like, is it male or female? How does my brand really relates to other people? So I babble a lot of about that, but just literally go and question everything and make notes. Grab a piece of paper. Don't grab any software or mirror or anything like that. Just grab a piece of paper and start writing down, what are the values of my brand? And then look at your marketing. Is my marketing reflecting those values? One of the things I really wanted to jump, and I forgot to mention it too when we were talking about channels and stuff. A big mistake that a lot of companies are doing, and I've seen it many times, you're using the same channels to connect to everybody. So you use Facebook to talk to your customers in English. Then you use Facebook to use the same channel to talk to your customers in Polish. Then you use the same channel to attract employees, the same channel to share your parties. I was like, who are you talking to? Think of that. Like, who are you talking to in your channels, and focus on that. You don't need to spread your news everywhere in the same channel. Create a different channel for your employees, or for attracting new for promoting jobs. But if you have one channel to connect with your customer, devote that channel to have a holy connection with your customer. With that being said, that's sort of.
But can you imagine that live chat has more than one account on the LinkedIn or on a Facebook or somewhere else that are only focusing on something? Because it's a little bit surprising. We also make it in a one, and it's somehow a problem. But on the other hand, when we have a lot of these accounts and profiles it's a mess.
It's if you don't want to handle a lot of, and you could, we actually do have a couple of channels that they're not directed to our customers at all.
Mhm.
But we still get a lot of followers in there. But think about the message that you're sending. I mean, if I'm a customer, and what happened to a lot of Polish companies is like, well, I want to focus in the US. That's my main customer, and I put content in English, and I have a native or a company doing the proofreading, and everything is beautiful. But then, and you manage to get the attention of your customer. Oh, this company, your customer is not going to buy straight away. He wants to keep seeing stuff from you. He's going to press follow, for example, if you did it right, because you give him something that he wanted to hear or see. But then the next post is a post in Polish about the party that we had on the weekend. Okay, I'll pass. Then the next post is like, hey, we're looking for new developers. We're like, well, I don't care. I thought you were talking to me. It's like, why your attention is not to me? So even though you could put all that in one channel, you need to think that there's your customer listening. So how can you make a post about your party that it could relate to your customers? So if you really want to promote your party that you had in order to promote your company culture, think that your customer is watching. Think your customer is listening. It's just like when you put photos of yourself in Instagram, your parents might be watching. Your parents are following your account. So you do take that into consideration. You don't put a random stuff and then you get a phone call from your mom saying like, why did you post that? Why are you putting photos like that on there? Because that could happen too. So if you want to stick to one channel, yes, you can, but think that you're talking to a very specific person on the other side.
Gosh, it's the biggest lesson. We should rethink our communication. Guys, do you have any questions? We have more or less 10 minutes, but because time is money and so on and so on. If you don't, we will go back to our duties. I was yesterday on a workshop, and then the host say 1, 2, 3. If not,
no, it's fine. And I was about to say something similar too. It's like I understand, and this is related to public speaking too, and the anxiety of like nobody needs to be on the spotlight. If you have no questions, it's fine. Same thing with Miha when he called me yesterday. It's like, Marcus, I'm sorry, there's only 10 people maybe attending. I'm like, it's not about that. We have recording capabilities. It's about like, let's just.
It's better. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time, Marcus. Thank you for all these tips. Thank you very much for coming. Let's say, and I will repeat myself. Don't give a big round of applause. Give a sub. I sent the channel, the link to the channel, and you can find it. Success by Live Chat. Paweł Raja is silent clapping.
I can feel it. I can feel it, Paweł.
Yeah, the energy. So, guys, feel invited for the next meetups, webinars, and so on, which will be organized by Concordia Design Wrocław. And I believe that we will see you soon, you, Marcos, and our guests in Concordia, because restrictions are moving out, let's say. So thank you very much once more. Thank you, Marcos.
Not a problem. And then if anyone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm an open connector. So just if you have any question that you didn't want to ask today, just find me on LinkedIn, and happy to find you and to talk to you.
Marcos, bravo on live chat. Thank you very much for that, and thank you from me, Michał Karpowiak, Concordia Design Wrocław. Good night, I would say. Good day, because it's like from Edward Murrow. Good night and good luck. And for me, it's a good day. Have a good day and good luck. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.